Aries, this is your tarot reading for the month of October. Just a quick look at it and a few concerns. I think whatever might be negative in October is a necessary negative, as it were. You know, it's inevitable, it's going to happen, and it's about accepting it and moving on. The overall energy, that middle card there, you are looking for something different, something creative. Maybe you can sense the change, you know. One of the reasons why maybe you're looking for something different is in the past there's been strife, there's been turmoil. There has for us all, hasn't there? And have you had enough of it? Right now there are many possibilities open to you, but not all are what they seem. And I think you're also fed up of that. I think you're fed up of the deception in the world. Longer term, after October, you do get disillusioned and walk away from everything. Which is what I mean about, you know, whilst it might not be a wonderful reading, I think probably it is for the best. It's about showing you the things that are wrong and you being given the opportunity to right them. The energy that leads to the outcome is a Tower. So that is a sudden and abrupt ending, probably a necessary ending. Now, recently, a lot of signs, these endings have been about their beliefs. So I wonder if it's about a change of your beliefs, more so than simply an ending to the life as you know it. What would offset the outcome is filling your heart full of love. Now, I've been saying that for a long time with many signs, but this really does appear to be saying it quite strongly for you right now. So I think it's about abandoning maybe a confrontational style that I think you've developed, and I think you've developed in response to what you perceive as others, you know. Maybe you see the world as nasty, brutish shorts, you know what I mean? That sort of thing. Maybe that's how you see life, and these are your protection. Whereas the universe is telling you fill your heart full of love. Now, as a result of that ending, you're seeking out new information. So it does feel like it's an ending of beliefs, and you're seeking out new beliefs. I think you do get the information you're looking for, but it's that you walk away from, because when you realise what has happened to you and maybe humanity, you want to walk away, you want something different. So fascinating. Let's look at it in detail. Now, I think you're very aware of the changes going on. I do recall over the months you've been a bit of a laggard in terms of picking up on what's going on. And I think that's because of your innate conservatism. But at last you're picking up this change. I think you don't quite understand the nature of that change. But you yourself are seeking something different. You know things can't go on as they have been. And you're looking for something different, something creative, something very different to what you're used to. Maybe very different to this innate conservatism that you have. I don't think you quite know what you're looking for, but you know you want something different. You know you want to change. You know change is coming, and you know you want change. But you're not quite certain if the change that's coming suits you and how you should respond. That's what I think this is about, yeah. Now, in your past, there was a conflict. And this is certainly important in shaping on what happens this month. Now, I don't know the nature of this conflict. I don't know what it was about at all. I don't know who it was between. But it certainly has affected you. The other thing that I'd say about it is it's something that, whilst it might have been bitter and felt very bad, it probably was somewhat superficial. You probably didn't think it was superficial, but it was probably quite superficial, and it was probably a misunderstanding that could actually have been easily resolved if you could have talked it over. And maybe you couldn't have talked it over. You know, there are many things going on at the moment in the world. Businesses and governments are acting as though they're, well, dictators, aren't they? They're being very dictatorial at the moment. And telling their customers and their citizens, you must do it like this, you must do this, you must do that, you know, without any thought about the impact it makes on them. And, you know, it's impossible to get through to them. And, you know, they're now employing AI so that you never speak to them, so that they can take arbitrary dictatorial decisions and you have no recourse whatsoever. So, you know, maybe you're caught up in something like that. I don't know. Or maybe it could be resolved. Right now you're faced with choices, options, maybe opportunities. There's no doubt that some of them are actual opportunities, but some of them are poison chalices. You're probably a little stymied about it. And the feeling I get is you're like me. You just see all these sort of scams in the world and you say, no. If buying any item or purchasing a service or doing anything, you know, anything that you're not obliged to do involves the potential for a scam, then I'd sooner not engage, sooner not buy it, sooner not have anything to do with it. And I think you feel like that. I think you just feel, why does everything have to have a scam or a potential scam there, you know? I'm 66 now. Well, when you get to 66 in England, you can get your pension. So I've got like most people of my age, I've got a number of pensions, not a single pension, a number of pensions. And so in February I started to try and claim them. Well, my 66th birthday came and went, and not only was I not paid anything, but I still don't have any real idea about how much money I can look forward to. And some of that money seems to be trapped in a dystopian catch-22, and, you know, surely a pension is the simplest of things, you know, but if somebody said to me, should I invest in a pension, I'd say no, for goodness sake, don't. It's just another trap. It's just another of these scams that are everywhere, you know. No, I'd sooner not have anything to do with the world than keep fighting in such a conflictual, not conflictual, what is it, aggressive, I mean, you know, yeah, conflicting manner, you know. It's not the way we should live, is it? And I mean, in the future you do get disillusioned and walk away. I don't know if it's about what I've been ranting on about, you know. The fact that everything seems so conflictual, that was the word I was looking for, conflictual. That everything seems designed to defraud you out of your rights, you know. Is it that you're fed up with? It could be more, because there's more to come, you know. This is the future. but you do decide to walk away. Now we can't all do, well, I'm saying you can't all do what I do, and that is live up a mountain in a remote part of the world where I don't even speak the same language as the locals, Don't watch the television, there's a full pile of things I don't do. My son said to me the other day about reading books, and I said, well, there aren't English language books readily available where I live. There's no Amazon, and if you can get hold of them, they're very expensive, particularly compared to the cost of living, So you can't all do what I've done. And even I, in trying to claim my pension or, just dealing with banks, I've got a new bank card and it broke. And so I had to order a new bank card, and so I've been in today, and what a palaver trying to register it on a mobile phone, It's like it's been designed by a 29-year-old to give 66-year-olds Alzheimer's, and yeah, I've had enough, and I think you do. And what leads to the outcome is a tower moment. Now, a tower moment is cathartic, but it does mean an end to maybe the way you lead your life even. Certainly walking away from it would be, which is in the future. But an end to the way you lead your life, and it's because it was based on unfirm or the wrong foundations. Now, I've watched you for many months, Aries, and you've always been very firm, somewhat conservative in your views. And I think it's your very views, the very way you see the world, that's being shaken. So let us just run with a hypothesis here, Supposing you're quite conservative and a great fan of the capitalist system, but you're increasingly finding that, like me, most things appear to be scams, and that your every interaction has to be conflictual now, and you're becoming disillusioned with your very core beliefs as a result of that. And I think it's that sort of thing that this tower is about. It's about taking them away from you. Now, as I say, I think you're quite a conservative type, Aries, and I don't want to make out that you can't be loving, but being led by love, being led by your heart, I think is something alien to you. Filling your heart full of love and being led by that, and your actions being ruled by your heart, isn't something that comes at all naturally to you. But that's the advice you're getting from the universe. The advice is that you could avoid some of the pain of the change that you're going to. You will have to go through it. There will be massive change, whatever. But if you could be a little bit more understanding of others, a little bit more loving, then you'd be able to accept these changes. And I think that's it. Accept the changes much more successfully. Now, as a result of this tower, and as I say, you're having to change your beliefs, I think you recognise it. So the outcome is you going out and seeking new ideas, seeking new ways of seeing things. If you remember, however, the future is you walking away. And so just going with the illustration I used that, you're a firm supporter of capitalism, and you get disillusioned because of the scams, because of the conflicts, because of all that you're seeing, the manipulation that you're becoming increasingly aware of. So So you go looking for answers, and the answers you get back you don't actually like. You think, oh my God, maybe this wasn't such a good system. Maybe it wasn't. Now, this is just an illustration. I don't want people putting comments about how it's the only system and blah, 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 blah. Go and live in the Soviet Union, because I'm not advocating anything. I'm just giving an illustration, for goodness sake, But you get disillusioned with your beliefs, and you dig a bit deeper, and as you dig a bit deeper, what you find out is even worse, I think. Yeah. Well, we're going to get a bit of clarity, see if I've got any of this right. So the clarity I seek is on this tower. Am I right it's about ideas, or is it something physical? Well, the first card of clarity, Knight of Pentacles. Dogged determination, reliable, but moves slowly. Now that sort of sums you up, Aries. The next card of clarity we have is the Death card. Sudden, abrupt and unwelcome ending. You weren't expecting this, even though it was built on the wrong foundation. And the final card of clarity is the Nine of Swords, card of nightmares. Despite not expecting it, in your deep subconscious, you possibly were. Wow. This first card of clarity, the Knight of Pentacles, I think sums you up, Aries. Remember, it's clarity on the tower. So I am right, your very core beliefs are being attacked here. And you're a determined sort. You're a very, very reliable sort. You're not the sort to throw the towel in. And remember that in the future you do throw the towel in. So that's very unlike you. You have a plan and you stick to it, no matter what the adversity. Often it means moving very slowly to achieve your goals. Maybe sometimes you get frustrated with how slow things move, but you stick to that goal. You stick to that goal. And so this tower is an end of those old goals. It's an end of those old ways of doing things. Now, I've used the same deck for clarification as I have for the main spread. So I've not used two decks on this. So the clarification we've got on the tower is the Death card, which are very, very similar. I wonder if I'd used another deck, if the clarification would have been another tower and it was saying, "You fool, I've already told you what it's about." The difference is that the Death card doesn't necessarily have to be for a good reason, but that wouldn't cancel out the fact that the tower is for a good reason. It's something that's necessary. So I don't think I should read that into it. I normally see the Death as sudden, abrupt and unwelcome, and I think we might read that into this. I did hear a fellow tarot reader the other day suggesting that death doesn't have to be sudden, it can be long-winded, and I suppose thinking about it, it can be, can't it? But I do think it's about sudden. It wasn't something you were sort of really anticipating, I think is the truth. You weren't anticipating this ending. You weren't anticipating having to change your core beliefs. Now, I say you weren't anticipating this, and I don't think you were in your conscious, but maybe in your subconscious you were, because we have this card, a card of nightmares. So this tower is your deepest fears coming true. You've been worried that you've got everything wrong. You've got the wrong end of the stick. Everything you've believed in all your life has been wrong, and you're going to have to change it. Now, you might be feeling, oh my God, why is it happening to me? What I want to tell you, Aries, it's happened to all of us. As I say, I'm 66 now, and the health crisis was a wake-up call for me, because I saw everything I believed in, everything I devoted my life to, callously destroyed. And I realised that my life had been something of a lie, fighting lost causes, putting my effort into the wrong thing all my life. And I think this is the sad realisation that you're going to have, Aries. Maybe this spread is a little bit sad. You probably will feel it's a little sad, but I've got to say to you, you're not going through anything that anybody else hasn't, or any other sign hasn't been through. In fact, the truth is you've been slower in getting here than others. It's about you fundamentally changing your beliefs and the way you lead your life being fundamentally challenged. And you've always been a little bit conservative, somebody that sort of is wedded to the existing systems and establishment, and you're becoming increasingly disenchanted with it. Disenchanted because of every interaction you have, be it with the state or with business, is so conflictual now. Indeed, trying to do everything, there is always an attempt to defraud you somewhere along the line, and you're becoming dissatisfied with the working of government, dissatisfied with purchasing things, saying it shouldn't be like this. And this is going to completely shake your fundamental and core beliefs. You're going to realise that I believe so strongly in all these institutions, and I'm looking at them now and they're all rotten to the core. And this fundamentally shakes you. Now, if you want to come out of this with a greater degree of sanity, as it were, or a greater degree, feeling better about it, and that is to be led by love, led by your heart. Doesn't come naturally to you, and I don't think you'll do it, but that would be a way, if you could be more forgiving and more understanding. And I'm not trying to say you're not a loving person, because I'm sure you are, but you're not led by the heart, are you, Aries? Never have been. And maybe that's the major change you need to make. I think things get worse, to be honest. I think not only are you shaken in your beliefs, you try and uncover what on earth is going on, and the more you find out, the more horrified you are. The more you realise that maybe your entire life has been a sham, a series of lost causes, a series of doing completely the wrong thing for what you thought was the right reasons. And you're disillusioned and shaken, and you end up walking away from things. I think almost walking away from life itself, which to a certain degree I've done, and I'm very understanding of it.